Hello and welcome to Floyd Models Kit Review Time. Something completely different from me. What we got down in here is the Zvezda 1:350 scale. This is the Delfin or the Delta IV nuclear submarine, Russian from the northern fleets. I must admit, I'm going to be doing this one for the Comrade Buller SIG that we got going on at the Flory Models thing. So expect to see this one coming along the next couple of weeks. But first of all, let's have a look. Anyway, nice bit of box art down in there, as you can see. Typical sort of Soviet look to this thing right the way through. Again, it's got various names, called the Delfin, it's the Tula class, various things, but as you see, it's going to be a very nice project. It's not small either. This thing's 48 centimeters long, as you can see down in there. We've got a few little bits on the older box, this one, and a few bits down in here of other ones that are actually coming up for this one. Kit number for this one is 9062, and that's what we get. And one thing that struck me as well was the actual base for it. It's really nice to have that sort of seabed looking base to it, and again, something to really display the model quite nicely. And again, they've done it in this way of painting it sort of the black and the red and all the rest of it, and I think that's a good example of why I always say never use black, because it's too strong. It needs a little bit sort of mottling into that and various things to take that down a peg or two, which we intend to do with this particular build. So anyway, without further ado, into the box. It is still sealed, so we need to just pop ourselves in here. Being Zvezda, it's a box within a box, as always, which I must admit, when you look at other companies like Revel, and then you get Zvezda on the other end, you go completely over the top with it all. So, as we can see in here, that's our stand we were talking about, which actually, I know it's just, injection moulding like that, but I think it really is a nice way to display it. Something sort of in its own territory. That's it, as you can see. Slinky little thing. Okay, so down in here we've got some decals. Looks quite nice as well. Look at those properly in a minute. We've got a colour call-out chart and decal placement, which to be honest, there is not much into that at all. And again, we've got some instructions, which is literally one piece of paper, so not a lot in here either. Anyway, if we have a look, as you can see, this is that stand we're talking about down at the bottom. And in here, it's literally one sheet, which I didn't realise it was going to be quite as simple as this, but it's not really, because down in here we've got to actually make up the prop, or the props themselves, or the screws, I think they commonly call these on subs. So we've got to do those. We've got the sort of dive planes and all the rest of it being fitted down into here, and then various bulkheads being fitted in. So it's not literally just two halves come together. We've got bulkheads and then the top running down in there again. Lots of little parts being added down in here, as you can see down in this one. So it looks like little cooling scoops for water and things like that to be taken in. And then the top half, and then running across the top here, we got the sort of the actual ballistic missiles in the fairing behind the sort of conning tower as well. And again, lots of other details down in here, like hatches being able to be done open or closed. So we've got a couple of them, so you can simulate obviously doing a missile firing and things like that. And then obviously more of the controls down at the back. And then obviously we've got all the periscopes and different sensors and radars and things like that down fitted in the conning tower. And then I do believe obviously you can have them up deployed or retracted down, and then obviously those ones being fitted down. We've got some the actual planes for the sides, the actual conning tower down in there, and then over on the other side we've got a missile itself, so you can have a full-size missile down to go in there, or you can have them closed up, whichever way you want to do it. And then again, various things with the conning tower and the bridge equipment, things like that up there being fitted down into here. And again, some various things down at the front, I imagine for the sort of anchors and various things down. So it has got quite a few options, even though it looks very simple being one sheet of paper. There's actually a lot going on down in there. So as I said before, here's our little colour call out, as you can see for it. Again, not tons of decals down in here, but that cheat line running down the side will be fun to get that one in. It does come as a decal, but I think honestly it would be probably easier to spray that. So that would be a bit more in keeping with the weathering front as well. But as you can see, we've got the depth charts, things like that down on the sides and all of those. So that's actually looking quite nice indeed. Down in here we've got the decals. So again, we've got some nice gold leaf effect for the actual stand itself and all the parts down in here as well. And we've got the actual flags for the Russian Navy as well down in there, and for the northern fleets. And again, all of those white markings, which I really do think it might be easier just to actually cheat line those and spray those in. I'll be making part of the actual setup. So that's that one down in there. As for parts, as you can see, there's quite a lot going on down in here. We'll just cut our way in this, if you can get that in. So, crispy bag, have that out of the way. to start with, we've got the main hull, which again, it's one of these things, at first glance it doesn't look like it's very detailed at all. So this is the bottom of it running along this side, but actually when you move in a little bit with a close-up, you can probably see it is full of detail. We've got all the cooling vents and areas coming into this one right the way through. All of the little parts down in there, the little fairings for the front and all the things in there. So actually you've got quite a lot going on in here, which again, I think with some clever painting and weathering and mottling and various things we're going to do to this one, we should be able to highlight a lot of those details and bring them out. On the inside, the ejector pins actually are quite subdued. We've got the actually locating areas down in here for the various sort of bulkheads that get fitted into this one. So that's very nice indeed. Then down in here we've got the other parts as well. So again, we've got the conning tower down in here. We've got some of these areas. Unfortunately, we have got some, obviously these need to be removed out. They're sort of, I don't know if actually they should be on here or not. I assume they're just push throughs from the other side. It may be that you can't see them because I can't feel it, just see it. So I don't think they're actually going to be an issue. And again, lots of other details down in here. All the control diving planes, things like that, those bulkheads we were talking about, and again the top of, or the fairing behind the conning tower down in here as well for the actual missiles. Got the tubes down at the bottom, so you can see on the underside, not really a problem. At least all the ejector pins are down. It looks like the diving planes down up here on the control tower are posable because there's locks for maximum deflections on the inside as well. Obviously I think that's a bit gimmicky on the model, but there we go. Okay, next one up, obviously we've got the top. Lots of details down in there, as you can see. So if we pop over here, you can see loads of detail on the top here that hopefully we'll be able to pick out with some nice washes and things. We've got the tails down the back there. We've got the tops, and obviously we've got the areas opened if you're going to have the actual silos sort of open on there. Top of the conning tower, again, really nice details. All the scoops and the various parts down in here. But again, we've actually got the rescue areas and hatches, various things down at the back. That's all looking really very, very nice. Set the missiles, again, full-size ones for the kit, showing how big they are. So we've got two of those down in there like that. So that's huge. Very, very nice indeed. Again, the main problem we're going to have here is making this seamless. So a lot of time spent making sure that's right. Okay, last up we've got some of the small little, for all the aerials and antennas and doors and things like that, as you can see just down in here. So we've got the actual doors over here, we've got the dive planes, various things as you might imagine right the way through. And again, some of them there's some quite interesting markings on them and everything else, but when you flip them over, it's just a little bit of mold mark coming through. I don't think it actually shows, it's just in the black plastic it's showing else. But we haven't got any ejector pins down in these areas for the open doors, things like that. It's all looking very, very nice indeed. So again, tiny little details on this one for such a small kit and 1 to 350. You think they'd mould them in one, but actually tiny, like these little guys just down in here. Little bits going down in here as well, really adding that detail. Last up, as you can see, we've got that base, so we've got the sort of rock sea bottom down in there, and it has got a little plate in here which then fits on for the actual plaque going on there just like that. So that should be quite cool as well. So there you have it. It should be a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to be a straightforward shake and bake kit, this, because there's a lot of seam lines in there which are going to have to be absolutely perfect to make it around about right. But what we're going to be doing with this actual build is going through and trying to get this mottling effect into the ship and everything else like that, and some staining and some sort of used look to it as well. But again, I definitely avoid the blacks. As you can see down in here, the artist is actually using blues and purples and things like that just to break up that black finish, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing as well with this actual build. So there we go, great review of a great kit. As I say, keep an eye out for this one. I am building it between now and obviously Christmas, so parts of that one will be up on the Florian model site very, very soon.